Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fire Off. I'm Ross. I'm Glenn Laura's son, for those that don't know me. The fan's going to be helping me. The fan's missus is going to help me with the one section of it. There's 3 different sections there. It takes about 90 minutes, but I don't think it's going to take that long to go through. So tonight we're going to be covering Be Prepared. This covers fire, emergency, and fall prevention. It's designed for seniors and older adults. First time that we've done this, so bear with us there as we go through it.
Tell them that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, this started, I guess, by the 50 Plus Club. They wanted us to speak at one of their sessions there a while back in the spring, and we weren't unable to go to it then. So this is the presentation that we were supposed to present at 50 Plus Club back then. Good to see a lot of members of 50 Plus Club here tonight for this. And so we'll go through the program. Newfoundland and Labrador has the lowest percentage of young people across the country in the highest amount of seniors. It is important that we educate older adults and seniors about emergencies, fire, and fall prevention. Fire Emergency Services, that's the organization that governs us as the fire department. In partnership with the Office of Aging Seniors, have put together this program to assist older adults in making their homes a safer place, as well as providing them with information on fire prevention and other types of emergencies. Fire prevention saves lives. What can we do to prevent fires from happening? Most fires are preventable. They said at our last conference, pretty much we as a fire department have failed when our pager goes off there is a fire. That our goal is to prevent fires before they actually start. Good fire prevention in the home is the best place to start. Most common causes of cooking fires happen in the kitchen. Never leave cooking unattended. Wear tight-fitting or short-sleeved clothing when cooking. Use lightweight and easy-to-manage pots and pans. If you have a big pot like you have here at Flora or at Lions Club or whatever, they're much harder to maneuver than a small dipper or whatever, right? So use a pot that's big enough for what you're doing. If a pan catches fire, slide the lid on top of it and turn off the burner. Never have one. Every now and then you see on TV where you had a big kitchen fire or a big house fire. Lots of times it started in the kitchen. Lots of times what happens, people's instinct is if a fire starts, pour a jug of water onto it, take a glass of water, pour onto it, whatever. With a fat fire, that's probably the worst thing you can do. You're probably better off if you leave it. The second you have water to that, it essentially explodes. That fire goes everywhere up the cabinets. Where you had a fire that's probably this high, now you have a fire that's this high. So everything that's in that pot that's hot, when you pour that water in, it wants to get it. Right? The water, the oil floats on top of the water and drives it all over the pot and out of the pot onto the stove, curtains, ranges, whatever you got up into your cabinets. Right? So you want to make sure that you don't have water to a oil fire. Just put your lid on top and turn off your burner or slide it off. Same thing if you have a fire in your oven, if you have a roaster or whatever that catches on fire in your oven. Don't pour in a bucket of scrub water or whatever. Turn off the oven and let it boil and cause. Do not cook or bake if you feel tired.
I wonder what my problem is.
Funny thing, that problem is you can 20. It says here on the sheet there a good hint or helpful hints, especially for some seniors as they get a little older. They tend to forget sometimes, or the phone rings, go in and sit on the couch and talk to whoever on the phone. Next thing you know, smoke detector's going off, or even forbid water ring your head on the stove, caught on fire, or burned up. It's a good idea to take a timer with you, so the alarm will go off, you'll go back to the kitchen, or a oven mitt, or a wooden spoon, or a spatula, or whatever, something that will remind you or trigger your memory to go back to the kitchen that you have something on the stove, right? people that's getting more technical savvy, I guess you can set an alarm on your phone or whatever, and go off in a couple of minutes to go back, stir the pot or check the pot or whatever. Electrical safety and space heaters. The way we use electricity in our home is very important. We must not become complacent about electricity. Here we have a couple examples of stuff that have kind of far, I guess, here in Virgil. This is a ground fault plug-in, which is supposed to be water safe or used in water places like outdoors or in your washroom or whatever. You can see on the back, they'll pass it around there, it's all burned out on the back. I'm not exactly sure what happened or where it came from, but it's in our box there. This one I do know about. This one happened actually here at Far Hall. Is a plug that's all burned out and melted. A little bit of water got back into the plug and it caused it to grind out inside and it caught on fire and burned it. Right? Space heaters is another very common thing a lot of people use in the winter time or whatever. Some types don't have thermostat stuff on them. This particular one right here, we had one of those actually. This one is pretty good. On the bottom, you got a little, not a little, I guess it's a sensor in that big around. If you tip it over or it comes off the floor, a buzzing alarm sounds and the heater shuts off, right? So you want to make sure any heaters, anything you have like that, are designed if you tip over or capsize that they shut off. Other thing with these overloading plugins, right? A lot of older homes haven't been, if electrical hasn't been upgraded, people got a tendency of plugging a lot of stuff into the single plug, overloading the circuit, right? And you shouldn't do that. Same thing you use with power bars. You know, you got a power bar that originally most people had just for their computers and electronics. Now people are plugging in space heaters and God knows what into it, and you shouldn't do that. Those power bars are designed for electronics and low voltage things, right? They're not designed for high power stuff. Space heaters, give space heaters their space. It's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. Keep heaters at least 3 feet or 1 meter away from anything that can burn, including you, right? So, especially if you don't have good circulation in your legs, whatever, you don't have a lot of feeling in your legs, the next thing you know, your pants is on fire or whatever. Same thing we need with curtains and sofas or whatever. Don't put space heaters close to those. Shut off and unplug heaters when you go to bed or leave your home. Electrical safety and space heaters. Electrical cords should only be used on a temporary basis. So it shouldn't be used if you're doing renovation on your house or whatever, you need to plug something in, that's fine. But don't use extra cords that you've got here permanently to power a heater or a light or a TV or your refrigerator or whatever. Don't do that. Right? Get someone to come in and run a plug that you need, right? Shouldn't leave those. A lot of people going down, put rugs and stuff over them and leave them there permanently. That's something that you shouldn't do, right? Never remove the ground plug. So the ground plug is the round plug that goes in the third hole, the one by itself, right? A lot of people will take a pair of pliers or whatever, or wiggle it and pull it out, or it falls out by themselves and not replacing another cord. That's there for a very important reason. That's your grounding of whatever it is that you're using, right? So don't pull those out or remove them altogether. And if they do fall out on their own, or you squish it and it comes out, get a new end put on your cord. If an appliance or equipment repeatedly blows a fuse or pops a breaker or gives you a shock, get it checked into or replaced, right? So if that water or kettle constantly blows the same fuse all the time, don't stop using that kettle or get an electrician to have a look at your panel or something. There's something wrong with that that's causing that. to happen, and eventually you'll probably overload the circuit and have electrical fire. Light bulbs should match the light fixture. Not such a big issue anymore because most people use energy efficient bulbs, which are only 13 or 14 watt. A few years ago, it was a big issue because most light fixtures are only designed for a 40 or 60 watt bulb. A lot of people wanted more light, but they didn't know the difference. They're still only 100 watt light bulbs into a 60 watt light, and that was causing a lot of issues, a lot of overheating. A lot of people know that 100 watt light bulbs give off a lot of heat, more heat than what the light fixture was designed to handle. Outlets with loose fitting plugs can overheat and lead to fire. So if you got a plug that's after a while, the plugs kind of wear out or whatever, they're loose, and for a little bit or whatever, they can ground it or cause you issues. Have those replaced. It also says there in the notes that a lot of electrical issues are caused by unqualified people doing electrical work, right? So if you got somebody that knows a little bit or whatever, not necessarily everything that they're doing is correct, and it could cause you issues. Heating appliances. So that's your wood stoves, pellet stoves, propane fireplaces, that kind of stuff. Have a inspection and maintenance completed annually by a qualified person. So usually whoever sells your oil or whatever can have a look at your furnace for you. Service can be arranged through your provider. When burning wood, dispose of ashes outside. We're after getting several calls in the last few years of people taking their ashes and either just putting them on the bridge or putting them in your porch or taking them and dumping them into your garbage can with your regular household garbage. Ashes in a wood stove can keep its heat for a number of days. So if you just take them and throw them in your garbage can, throw them out your porch, next thing you know, you probably have your porch on fire. So keep them outside, away from your house, and dispose of them that way. Make sure also, a lot of people got a tendency of poking stuff in around their furnaces. You know, your furnace needs room. Don't pack that room where your furnace is full of stuff, lean stuff up against your furnace. That's not a good idea at all. If you smoke, stop. If you smoke, use deep and sturdy ashtrays. Wet cigarette butts and ashes before you throw them out. Never smoke in bed, and never smoke in a home where there's medical oxygen. So anybody that has medical oxygen will have signs on their doors and in their house, no smoking. Right? Some seniors can't tell their family that they quit smoking. Next thing you know, man's out on the bridge having a smoke, and daughter, son, grandchild shows up. What the man do? Take a cigarette, put it in the pocket, and pat it out. Don't do that. Medical oxygen. A lot of people have medical oxygen. As they get older, they often breathe short. No, I'll just come through it. The video was what? The actual video at me, there's. So it's showing here in this cylinder, in this bottle that's full of pure oxygen, medical oxygen, right? So it shows how smoldering that stick is, and you put it in and it starts to glow, right? So this shows what oxygen can do. So if you got medical oxygen in your house and your curtains or whatever get saturated with it, that's how fast it can burn. So that's the regular oxyacetylene hose, not designed to burn, but had oxygen, pure oxygen to it, and you can see what you got. So this is your typical medical oxygen hose there. and you'll see that the flame is going against the flow of oxygen. It's burning right back to the tip, right? So medical oxygen is very good for those that need it, but it's also very dangerous if not handled with a lot of respect. And if you do stuff with it in a room where there's oxygen, in a house where there's oxygen, then you can have a very severe fire, right? So what we have here is a fire triangle or fire tetrahedral.
And there's a second one. You hurry up
Right in
and
that.
Oh, there is. So you got your oxygen, which you just looked at. Fuel, most anything in your living room or bedroom, whatever, your mattress, your curtains, chairs, furniture, whatever, that can be your fuel. Your heat can come from a lot of different things. Cigarette butts, lighters, matches, even sparkling toys and that kind of stuff, right, can cause a fire, right? So then you get the chemical chain reaction. When all those three things are present in the right amounts, that you can have a fire, right? Especially with medical oxygen, like I said, that's the pure stuff. So if you got that not properly maintained or leaking or whatever into your house or room, that you can have a lot of issues and a major fire with that. A fire in an oxygen-rich area will burn more quickly. So we had these curtain sky fire here now. They wouldn't burn to the rate that ones would that was in a room where someone had medical oxygen that was leaking or whatever. Matches, candles, electric razors, and sparking toys can be ignition sources. Be familiar with the equipment and the safety checks established by your provider. So if someone needs medical oxygen when medical here comes out from Corner Workers Depot, wherever they come from, they'll give you some checks or whatever that you need to maintain while you have that in your home. Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a tasteless, odorless, and poisonous gas. It's produced as a product of combustion and it can be fatal. So lots of times when you have carbon monoxide issues in your house, it's your wood stove or your furnace or whatever is leaking into your home, right? Your furnace's chimney is blocked off or collapsed or is not vented as it should be. And it can be fatal. Back in January 2009, some people might be able to remember Archbishop Martin Curry that was in St. John's was found semi-conscious in his house. He was supposed to show up at the Basilica for church, and he didn't show up. So when they went to check on him, he was rushed to the Health Science Center, and it was found out that his chimney liner was broken, and it was allowing exhaust from his furnace to escape into his house, and resulting in it being built up. So he didn't have a carbon monoxide detector, right? So a carbon monoxide detector, similar to a smoke detector, that'll beep, looks the same. Sometimes you can get a combination of both. Looks the same, and it'll beep if there's carbon monoxide. Proper maintenance of your fuel burning appliances, equipment, and ventilation system is important. Carbon monoxide alarms will warn you at the raising of carbon monoxide levels in your house, and they can be purchased at most hardware stores. They're a little bit more expensive than smoke detectors, but if you have furnaces or whatever, it's very important that you have that kind of stuff. What to do in case of fire. This is a little video here. It shows how a fire advances into a house. The camera views are the outside, 2 bedrooms upstairs with the doors open, living room where the fire starts, and behind the living room in the kitchen. So you have your kitchen, your living room, and your 2 bedrooms upstairs, and this is your outside view. So it started there in the couch. So this is the 5 or 6 minute mark. That's roughly what it would take probably for the fire department to respond if the fire call went through the second that the fire was started. So you get fire coming up through the windows and the doors of the house. So you can see the importance of why you should have smoke detectors. Something is 18 minutes later, pretty much everything is white tape, right? A few years ago, we were in Steve and I doing some training, and we stayed in the living room, and they lit a couple of couches on fire, our living room on fire, and we sat down and watched it grow. And it was amazing how quick the smoke, like we didn't pour any gas or anything onto it to get it going. We just lit it with a blowtorch and stayed back and watched it. It was amazing how much smoke and toxins and stuff that came off that living room furniture. That stuff it's pretty toxic. High smoke content into it when it's burned, and is wicked. To that one couch on fire would easily fill your house full of smoke. So now we're upstairs clearing the stuff upstairs. Right? That's it. Smoke alarms. Smoke alarms are to be installed in every level of your home and in each bedroom. And it's now the law in Newfoundland and Labrador to have a smoke detector in each of your bedrooms and on each level. Interconnected alarms are best. When one sound, they all sound. So what interconnected ones are? They're electric alarms, are not 9 volt. There's a wired ones from each individual alarm. And if there's smoke or whatever, one goes off in your bedroom, all the alarms through your house will go off, and obviously it makes it louder and louder with more alarms that go off. louder it gets. Test smoke alarms once a month by simply pushing the test button. Some people so that you want to test your alarms to go around and blow smoke up into them, or load a paper towel and swirl around, make it costing more and more hazards while doing that. So just push the test button onto it, and that's what's going. Not everybody can hear the alarms, especially as you get older, you're wearing hearing aids and that kind of stuff. The alarms get lower, I guess, or harder to hear. And some people just simply cannot hear it. So then we have equipment out. There's various types, of course. You have a vibrating pad that's triggered by the smoke alarm. So I think something goes in your bed and it causes your mattress and stuff to shake. I haven't actually ever seen one, but that's the whole idea behind it. It causes the mattress and stuff to shake to wake you up, right? And then there's different programs stuff out through different social services and hard of hearing associations and stuff to help purchase this kind of stuff, right? Look for Hunter Riders approved items. Smoke alarms, all kinds of different types of smoke alarms. They're all good for 10 years. So after 10 years, they have to be disposed, took down, and replaced. Usually by that time they're generally yellow or start to yellow anyway, so most people want to throw them out. But if you got one you're not sure how old it is and your nose is probably older than 10 years, you should really replace it. It may not work after that. And if you have battery operated alarms, how often should you change your alarms? How often should you change your batteries? We generally put it on TV every time the clocks go ahead or go back for people to change, right? And I know those 9-volt batteries, some are expensive, they're $5-6 each probably, but you have to buy good quality ones. If you just go to a dollar shop and buy a dollar 9-volt battery, it's not going to hold up as good. And this is your life safety equipment, so this is where it's important to spend the extra couple of dollars on a good battery that's going to last and you're going to get a while out of it, right? What to do if a fire occurs in your home? What it's talking about here is developing own escape plans, safety plans. We do it with school kids every year when they come over. And it's important, just as important for seniors. You know, you have to know who's going to go, where you're going to go to, where you're going to meet them, especially if you have more than you in your home, right? A few minutes of planning can prevent a lifetime of regret. If possible, I know it's not always possible, but know 2 ways out of your home. Make sure all doors and windows are easy to open year-round. If you have snow and stuff that falls on that back bridge that you don't always shovel off in the winter or you just let fill, really shouldn't be doing that because that might be your escape in the event of a fire, right? So you want to make sure that you have 2 ways out of your home in case one's blocked off by fire or for whatever reason you can't get out one way, that you can get out the other way. In the event of a fire, get out and stay out and then call the fire department. So don't go back in, oh, I forgot my wallet, I forgot my pictures or whatever. Once you're out, don't go back into your house. Have a phone in your bedroom, so in case you can't get out, you can call the fire department or ambulance or whatever you need if you can't get out of bed or whatever. Be able to call them. Post local emergency numbers near your phone in case you can't escape. That way you have the numbers there in a panic or whatever. Sometimes that people have called the wrong number, not sure if they've called the right number. And our number's been the same for years and years and years, 886-3333. Every school kid knows it, but in the event of an emergency, a lot of the head office kind of tend to forget and call an hospital or call a totally different number, 2222, you know, the minister, all kinds of different stuff. So make sure you write that number down. 911 also works here now in Virgil. It's been working here for the last couple of years. It works from your landline or your own or your cell phone. But all that you see on TV, it's not like your address and stuff don't come up. It'll probably come up in here that it's Virgil, but it won't come up that it's 37 Mrs. Road. So they don't give you the address that you see on TV, on those 911 shows, interstates or whatever, they'll show the address and your location. It's not that sophisticated yet. They're working on it, but it's not to that point yet, right? And same thing for your cell phone, like it shows that it gives you GPS codes and stuff. I don't think they're to that point yet. They're working on getting there. Also, I have other items near your bed if you need them, such as medications, glasses, wheelchair, scooter, walker, or cane, right? So it's no good if the smoke alarm goes off, if your home care worker has gone home and put you to bed before you go, that you need to be able to get out of your bed, no matter your head in the event of an emergency. And particularly if that person leaves and puts your cane or scooter on the other side of the room, it's not going to be much good for you if you need to get out. This is for more or less for Max at the seniors complex there. They're up the other day and escape drill with those people. If you're living in the building, you have a different system, so this is similar to what we got at seniors complex or at hospital or smoke detectors, different zones throughout the building, right? Escape planning, these places are required, and crowd the same, right? Get it. Planning for other emergencies. Know the risk, make a plan, and call an emergency kit. So most of this stuff that's up here we've had happen in Virgil pretty much in the last 12 months or so. Road washed everything there. We had a big washout there. Another picture of washout. Fires, we've had a few, and flooding last year in 10th of October, so just over a year ago. We had a lot of flooding here in Virgil, most people remember, right? Know the risk, make a plan, and compile a kit. Use the checklist to build your kit. So what they're talking here is an emergency kit. So it's a book bag, school bag, a Tupperware cup, whatever. It's an emergency kit, something that has all your emergency supplies in. Not necessarily as if you were going camping, but stuff you might need if you have to leave your house, right? Quite common nowadays, or even if it's not this style of emergency, if it's a fire or something that we may come knocking on your door telling you that you have to leave. A lot of people say, no, I'm going to stay, but if we call them or the RCMP or the Grand Commission comes knocking on the door, tells you to leave, you should really leave. That's where this emergency kit comes in. And same thing for power outages and that kind of stuff. It has supplies in there for that, so it has some food, some water, first aid kits, flashlights, wind-up radios, VOCM or whatever will be providing updates on when the power will be restored. Flashlight, same thing, that could go on days and days and days. Most of you people probably remember, I can't remember too much about it back in the 80s when we had a big power outage here, it was gone for close on a week or whatever. That stuff is possible to happen again, right? We're very isolated here on the end of the road, and support services, we got what we got here in Virgil. When that road gets closed and the power and stuff goes out, we have what we have. Include your personal support contacts. So personal support contacts, most people have family that lives here in Virgil anyway, so that's the people that you would call on, but some people aren't that fortunate, so you should make a relationship with your neighbors and friends that can come and help you if you need something done or in an emergency somewhere that you can go. Be self-sufficient, so it says those kits should be able to accommodate you and your family for 72 hours. Easily transportable, so you don't want to have everything in there, including the kitchen sink. You want to have something that you can move and lift yourself. You have a service animal and pets. You want to make sure that you got food and stuff for your pets in these kits as well. You don't want to take your dog, take your emergency kit and get to someone else's house, or then forbid your bar or community center or something like that with your pet and no food for it. Take your equipment so you know it's yours. Include directions and information. Not as important, everybody knows where stuff is here in Virgil, but if you were down in the States when they had that hurricane blow through the other day, that's where it would have been important for something like that. Note any allergies. Include a list of medications and consider other special needs, right? If you need contact lenses or glasses or whatever. It's also a good idea in those emergency kits to put your last pair of eyeglasses before your last prescription change. You don't want to break your lens or lose your glasses and then you're going around blind. Other thing for those kids that they're talking on too is money, cash, right? $5, $10 bills, not $100, $50 bills. If you want small bills, something that you can easily buy stuff with, and you don't need a lot of change in return. So it's important that you figure out who can help you in the event of an emergency. Create a list of 3 people that can help you, and talk to your neighbors. In case everybody knows your neighbors anyway, and something goes wrong, everybody's generally there to help everybody else. Before the fan does her part, didn't really talk about air depressation, but these fire extinguishers are very, very important as well, right? Everybody should have them in their own. I don't think they're required by law to have, but they're a good $25 investment or whatever they are. That it's very good if you have a fire to be able to put it out yourself, call us, even if it's just a small fire. But they had to, like everything else, they had to maintain one that you bought 25 years ago when you moved into your house is probably not any good anymore. So I want to make sure that definitely that it's still in the green, but even then the chemical that's inside these extinguishers get hard, something will shake them. But even after a while, that chemical gets hard and they need to be serviced every 12 years. Anyway, replaced every 12 years. So it's a good idea that you replace them if they're old, and definitely if they're in recharge them, or get them recharged, or probably cheaper to replace them. I'll just pass around so you can see. This one here is one that we fired off a couple years ago for the school kids. So you want to make sure that you're not in recharge it down there. You don't need one as big as that. I think for medical oxygen, they're looking at 5 pounds now, I think. This one here is a good one. I'm going to pass it around. It's a little heavier, but you see this one here is still showing in the green zone. At the top there.
The one we got, one that says water bottle, right?
Yeah, some of them are smaller, right? But if you have a gauge onto it, you want to make sure that he's in the green. And that's always important that you replace it. If you don't have a gauge onto it, that you got no idea of knowing if it's good or no good, right? So that's the good one there, right?
Yeah,
it's in showing in the green.
Okay, perfect.
So to use a fire extinguisher, quick sample, I guess that one there. This one has a little plastic tag on it where it serves. Most of them that you have at home probably would have that too. So you want to break that piece of plastic, pull the pin on it, give it a little shot. More than that should come out. If it don't, it's pointless to try to attack a fire with it. So give her a little shot in the ground, make sure she works. So you get the pin pulled, aim at the base of the fire, so don't aim up in the air and just let her go nuts, or just aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep it back and forth. Some of them don't have hoses onto it, you just got the little metal piece on it there, so in that case, just sweep it back and forth. Okay. And if you pull the pin and you don't use it, and there's still some left, don't take it and put it back for the next time you have a fire. Once the pin's pulled on that, it's got to be serviced again. And like I said, it's probably as cheap, especially for the smaller ones by this size and smaller, it's just as cheap to buy a new one as it is to. It's probably just as cheap to replace it as it is to get it refilled. So now the fan's going to talk on fall prevention. Over, back. And the other one's over, turn it on. So just close her up and do it.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about fall prevention. Why preventing falls is important for older Canadians. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I was to say.
I didn't know air was perfect.
Every year, 1 in 3 Canadian citizens will fall at least once. Falls can lead to long-term care admissions. Almost half of the admissions to long-term care are related to falls. 85% of all injured-related hospitalizations in 2009 were fall-related for those age 65 or older. And falls account for more than half of the injuries among Canadians 65 years and older. Seniors' falls are also responsible for 40% of admissions to nursing homes. So what causes falls? Lack of balance or inability to recover from some balance issue. Factors that influence balance include physical health problems, mental health problems, environmental trip hazards, and falls can be prevented. So we're going to show you some pictures. And if you can identify some of the hazards there that would create a cause of fall. So in this picture, you can see it's quite cluttered. There's mats on the floor.
Mats are bad.
Yeah.
Extension cords there, the cane is there on the floor. There's not much room to get around that coffee table, that chairs, the end table and the coffee table, and that is all close together, so if you had a walker, you wouldn't get around there. In this one, still cluttered. There's tennis balls on the floor.
Mats.
And the mat and these stools there are kind of close together. There's not much room there to get around.
Other thing there too, don't show it, there's a switch or anything there for that fan, right? So if you're going to be using that, you're going to be reaching all the way above the pool onto the strings and stuff, and you could then get up on a chair or something. That's all stuff that you shouldn't be at.
And the lighting, poor lighting is often the cause of the fall. So this is a little bit better. Than only having a mat here on the floor. There's more room to get around in this picture.
Also, in that one you had a smoke detector too, here too, right? So the other ones didn't show any smoke detectors or anything.
In this one, there's a bit more space, like for getting up from that Chesterfield or that chair to get around there.
You got steps there with no rails or whatever, or something you might want to look at, right?
This one, those cords coming down like that from that TV. The mat on the floor there. There's not much room for that door with the table there in front of the door.
Leaves your mat is curled up. You got that cover on the sofa that you can hook up when you're getting up, right?
This one, those two doors close together. There's not really much room to try to get in there. And there's no room to get around. The cords are all coming down from the entertainment center. There's a mat there on the floor. Stuff there on the Chesterfield. This one, there's rails here on going up to the stairs, so that'll help prevent a fall. This is quite cluttered. The bathroom is the place where most falls occur. So there's not much room for getting around. There's mats. There's stuff all over the place. There's no room for the rails there by the toilet if you needed it.
I say that person had door lock because there's 3 different rolls all here on the door.
And this is much better.
The other thing, if you're looking at doing maintenance on your house or whatever, is the hoop and stuff on the toilet. When they had to get his zip replaced, before we got zip replaced, we had to replace the toilet to make sure that it was the proper hoop and stuff. So if you think you might be a candidate for a hip replacement, or get a toilet, yeah.
It's also wise if you're doing renovations now with your bathrooms to put the wheelchair accessibility, like the guardrail, the rail, the handbars in, the hard toilets and stuff. You'll need it later on. So this has the wheelchair accessible sink and high-rise toilet and the shower.
Grab bars. In the shower and also the vanity.
This is another example of a risk for falls. There's very little room to get around that bed. There's cords coming down in the way. This is a bit better. There's a few things on the floor there you could trip up in, some cords, remotes.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a lot better. Neat and tidy and nothing in the way of tripping up in anything there. Very untidy kitchen. The drawers falling off of the stove there. There's mats on the floor. There's a lot of clutter around. Drawers left open, dishwasher door down, cords on the floor, vacuum cleaners left out, toys, and other stuff on the floor.
So this probably would be a really good spot for someone with a walker or
Try and get around.
someone with a walker, I guess.
It's
But
scary, yeah.
I say young wrestlers, just come on.
Everything dropped.
Same thing here, the stuff on the floor, the dishwasher doors left down again. Haven't cleaned up anything there. This is outdoors. There's a tripping hazard there with that stick.
got a uneven step coming off and stuff.
No rails on those steps there.
Very uneven, very washed out. And there's stairs. A lot of debris there, leaves and grass, which looks a little bit like slippery slope again. Especially if you had a shot of frost or whatever onto it, that probably go roller skating down roller steps.
And wet grass is just as bad as stepping on ice. There's a lot of broken edges stepping on wet grass. Here, the concrete step is
All uneven patio stones and broken. Good. Pretty steep, no steps, and all different heights.
So one thing that you can do to prevent falls is exercise regularly. And include balance and strength exercises in your exercise routine. Try to get 30 minutes of moderate physical exercise most days. Look for group activities or classes in your community. So here in town, we got the walking videos, aerobics. You can go up to the arena in the wintertime, walk around there, walk outdoors, sand banks, trails. And include your friends and family. Go for a walk together to encourage each other. Monitor your sight and your hearing. Get yearly eye tests and also hearing tests. Avoid wearing reading glasses while walking. Use night lights or automatic sensor lights at night. And impaired hearing can put you at risk for falling. Consider your medications. Ask your doctor to renew your prescription and non-prescription medications. You should have that reviewed at least probably once a year, 6 months to a year. And let your doctor know any non-prescription medications that you're taking. So that would be the herbal medications, your over-the-counter pain medications, your vitamins. A lot of people forget about those when you're telling the doctor what they take. Don't mix your medications with alcohol. Don't take anybody else's medication. Call your doctor if you feel dizzy, unsteady, or drowsy when taking a new medication. And just be mindful of what the side effects of some of your medication. There's a lot of medications that do cause dizziness, like sleeping pills, that kind of thing. So just be aware of that so that you can be a little bit more cautious. You know, if you get dizzy, you won't fall
Pharmacist
in.
generally tells you that when you get.
Yeah, and ask your pharmacist if you're not sure. Eating healthy. Eat a variety of nutritious foods. Eat foods that are high in vitamin D and calcium, which helps your bones, prevents osteoporosis. Plan your meals using the Canvas food guide, and don't skip meals.
What do you say?
If you don't have much of an appetite as you get older, just eat some smaller meals more often. Preventing falls around the home. In the bathroom, use rubber bath mats near the tub or the shower. Have the grab bars installed near your toilet or your bathtub. And consider modifications if you need them. And wipe up any moisture or spills right away. Moisture in the bathroom can cause you to slip and fall quite easily. In your living room and your bedroom, reduce the clutter. Mats can be a tripping hazard. Get rid of them or make sure they're non-slip. Have a lamp and a cordless phone near your bed so that you can call somebody if you need it. And there's also a program with those bracelets that you can press to get somebody if you happen to fall. So many phone numbers programmed into it, somebody can come and help you. And remove the raised door slits where possible. In the kitchen, eliminate throw rugs, store frequently used supplies in easy to reach locations. So having something high up in the cupboard that you uses every day, put it down in the lower cupboard so that you're not getting up on chairs and chairs slipping away and falling down. Store heavy items in the lower cupboards. Keep everything within reach and avoid floor wax or use non-skid floor wax. Some people love floor wax here.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Not seen it in 2 years more.
Around your stairs and your halls, ensure your stairs and your halls are well lit. Recommend to have a light at the bottom of your stairs and at the top of your stairs, light switch. Have solid handrails on both sides of the stairs. Take your time. Make sure the path is clear between the bathroom and the bedroom, so having a night light in your hallway. Outside of your house, keep your steps and your walkways clear of snow, ice, leaves, and in good repair. You can use the yellow paint on your stairs to see it when it's darker. Keep the front entrance well lit. Put all your gardening tools and your clutter outside away. And be aware of any uneven or cracked pathways. If you fall, this little video is showing you if you do fall how to get up. Don't get up too quick. You might be embarrassed and try to get up right away, but wait a few minutes because if you get up too quick, you could fall back down again. And just, get up gradually on your knees. Try to get out to a chair or something to help yourself up.
Only one fire extinguisher I meant to. So this was into the reason why it's not soap powder, it's not like it. It's a little lighter weight. This stuff after a while, especially if it's a little damp, or if it's sitting for a long time in your fire extinguisher and having it moved, that it gets kind of like chalk, kind of like soft concrete, I guess, and it hardens off, right? So you don't want that happening. There's a bunch of different products out there. This is one that we got at our house. It's a light, it's a night light and a flashlight, and when the power goes off, the light comes on. So you put it in automatic. When there's no power, or power goes in the middle of the night, the light comes on and you get back and forth. Right? So you can get these command power, and bunch of different hardware stores, stuff you can do. And it's a nightlight as well, so it's nice, nice. I don't know how long the flash will last, but it lasts. It's not a real bright light, but it'll last a good while. Yeah. So it's rechargeable, and you ain't gotta worry about the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rechargeable, so after.
Can you charge your phone on that too?
Not this particular one. You can get on that. You can't.
Yeah, I got one. That's one.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get on that. You can charge your phone off of to right. So it's not that expensive. They're $7 or $8 probably.
In Costco, like $329.
Yeah.
$329.
Yeah. Something like that.
$329.
Yeah. Rechargeable.
You can charge it, but you don't have
Yeah.
We should go hunting for them.
Yes. Yeah. So but if you do have it for that piece, make sure you got it set up like with an off and hobble under, so you want to keep it in hobble if you want it to come on when the power goes off, right? Then a little sensor on it detects if it's dark or light or whatever. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, but this summer time, it's smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're good for 10 years. Other than liquor ones, and
They say 10 years for them too. Generally, there's a sticker on them that says a line or which person. Generally, 10 years after install, there's a little bit of, I don't know what it is, radioactive material in there, and after a while, that kind of depletes and it gets full of dust and stuff anyway. So after 10 years, you should replace it.
I teach my regular, I wouldn't show them. Should be,
Yeah, after 10 years, they say that you should replace them. The newer ones will have a date until.
Do all that every time.
Pass it up there on top. So there's a bunch of books there that you can pass along.
We get them shot
Yeah, so this one here stamping onto it. I guess it gives it a little bit of shelf life, but it says 20 replaced by 2028, so that gives you 11 years. For the idea, I guess, so the store won't be selling after exported the smoke detectors.
That's the thing they type of smoke detectors. This new, like Rob said earlier, that's the thing that came out the last 3 or 4 years, I guess.
Ever got a book?
Every sleeping quarter, anybody sleeps in your house, you're supposed to have a smoke detector. Some people have sitting on that, you know. Not from the towns you get to that. That's for your own safety.
The idea behind the smoke detectors, why they say that we should have one in every room is, years ago, majority of people had one thing in their bedroom, the bed, and the only electrical thing they had in their bedroom was a light. Now more and more people got laptops and all kinds of different electronics in there. So yeah, especially a laptop like that there, fan on the bottom part of it. If you put that on a bed or something where it can't breathe, after not too long, that's going to get extremely, extremely hot. And there had a bunch of fires, and that was the cause of it. It was kids in particular that were going to bed with their computer and then falling asleep or closing her down and putting her on the foot of the bed or on the pillow or whatever. Fan, all the breathing was shut off the computer, the thing overheated, and boom, you got a fire. And then, or leaving to go to school, leaving the computer on, throwing the computer on the bed and down through the door, and that's what was causing some fires. So then the parents or whatever was in other rooms in the house, and they didn't know that there was a fire in that room. If you barred the door, especially in the newer homes, everything's sealed up really well, that fire could be permanent, could be really going good before any smoke comes out underneath the door, so it's hot smoke alarm, especially if you need to run that on that level.
Talking about that, I'm saying people, all the women that are western east part too, do not join clothes. Check that, always check your link tray. That's the real fire starter. And we have had fire calls for people, forgot to clean the lint out, and, you know, the lint is on the back part of their, back part of drawers and stuff like that, and they have got a fire, right? So
And they say always lint tray you should clean that after you every load of clothes, but every year or so, you should take the back off your drawer and the hose going in, especially if you got one that goes up, kinks and goes, a lot of people got that wrong quite a ways, that you should take that apart and get your shop back, just suck the dirt or replace the hose, right? Because a lot of them will get lint all over the back of the inside of the drawer, and eventually that hose clogs and clogs and clogs and clogs. Then you got nowhere for it to go. More newer drawers got sensors essentially into them that detects that the flow is not good and will stop it. Some of them do, and some of them, and the older ones don't have that. Like they had said, we're after having a bunch, or not a bunch, but the number of floors where the vents and stuff clogged on. Same thing in the wintertime with snow and stuff blowing up against your house, especially your drawers in the basement. Next thing you know, the drawer vent is buried under snow. If it don't vent, they and lint and everything else that goes out that hose, that's going somewhere. It's going to stay in that hose, and eventually it could catch fire. That drawer lint is extremely valuable. Give everybody there a book. There's a bunch of different topics covered in the book. There's a couple spots there you can fill in. It talks about, I guess I'll start from the beginning. Just a bunch of tips and like a little checklist there for you to go through. Then it talks about medical oxygen, so it talks about a bunch of tips for medical oxygen. In order to get, if you go to the hospital and the doctor, you're going corner book and the doctor determines that you need oxygen before that you can come home, that we, the fire department has one of the inspectors that will go around and inspect your house for oxygen, right? We can't just, because you want to come home from the hospital, give you the all clear because you want to come home. There's certain things you got to have in your house, right? One thing is you got to have a fire extinguisher. I think it's a 5-pound fire extinguisher you got to have smoke detectors. You got to have no smoke stuff. So if you have a loved one that you think is going to need oxygen, and if you are doing renovations or whatever, get the smoke detectors and stuff. If you should have them anyway, but if you don't have it, get it and get it put in. Then later on down the road, if you do need that stuff, it could save you a lot of grief. And for people that do have oxygen, you got your concentrator that makes oxygen in your house. That its power stuff goes out. You need to have some way of, your cylinders are only going to last so long. So you got to have, not everybody got a generator. You should make arrangements with someone that has a generator that you can go there to get oxygen.
like to plug in.
You get plugged in to generate. Right? You have a cylinder that'll last so long, depending on the rate of oxygen that you're on. You need to have arrangements made that somewhere that you can go to get oxygen. And unfortunately, here at Far All Lawrence, 50 plus, none of these buildings in Burgess have generators. So we can't open our doors here and say, come down and get your oxygen, stay here. Unfortunately, we can't, that's services that we can't provide. We have a small generator down here that we already use for our emergency lighting for Jolt's Lake, but it's nowhere near enough to power this building or any other building. So that's stuff that you have to bear in mind. Your little tank might be good enough for a few hours, or depending on the number of tanks you have, it might be good for a while. But if the power's gone for quite some time, it's something that you need to bear in mind. Other thing popped in there is your emergency kit. We spoke on it there earlier. There's a big list of stuff there that you should have. There's a list there of your own personal assessment. Things that you can do, stuff you need. It's no good to take this and fill it out, put it in the book, and put the book on the shelf. This stuff probably should go in your fridge or something like that, where if the Hamlets or someone needs to come to get you or whatever, that they can see what you can do or whatever. Important personal information, sheet there on that. And phone numbers and stuff for the town council. And your support network, people that you can call to help in the event of you need assistance. Then you get a fall prevention checklist there. That's pretty much it. So this here is not anything that me and the van sat down and done all. This came, like I said, from the start from Florida Emergency Services. So that's spread off. You see on TV talking about floods and that kind of stuff. That's the organization that we essentially report to the town, but the provincial organization that we report to is Florida Emergency Services. That's the group that developed this presentation. Not too often we get school kids over and they look at all of our stuff. I guess not too often we get the public into. This is one of our newer tools, I guess, that we have. Probably heard it on TV or even probably seen us talk about it on DVS or tell. This is a thermal imaging camera. It's not X-ray, but it shows heat. Is what those are heat or cool spots. It compares the temperatures between everything in the wall. So right now I'm looking at all the studs that's in that wall. Probably Jim's mug over there is probably glowing hotter because or anybody's mug that had heat, right? And you can see my laptop and everything is glowing pretty strong. You want to have a look there, Steve?
Yeah.
So you can see my laptop right in the center of the screen there is
It's glowing.
is glowing, right?
It's glowing.
Good.
Yeah.
So that, we've used that a bunch of times, and almost every call we go on now, that seems to be one of the first things that we take off the truck. It's a very, very valuable piece of equipment. Especially sometimes we have to get calls for traces of smoke, or smell of smoke and stuff. Lots of times it turns out to be those poorly energy efficient bulbs burned out somewhere, and that's the cat's meow, as you say, I guess. Anybody have any questions, comments? Good, see?
One question I was going to ask you. So just saying that there was a fire on one side of the house and there was enough smoke to make somebody pass out in the room down the place. So that there you can pinpoint where that person is and get to in as fast as possible.
You can't see through walls with it.
Okay.
You can't, the person won't glow inside the house or whatever. You can't see through walls. But if you were going through a bedroom or whatever, and the person was sleeping in bed, we still do our physical manual searches that we've been doing long before we had that stuff. But the person, you can see the person through the smoke.
Yes.
So it allows you to see through the smoke. It can see within the walls, depending on the walls, but it can't see through the walls.
Yes.
So I can see the studs and stuff in the walls, but I can't see through.
Yeah, that's it.
Example, Steve, we come into somebody's house and they said their loved one was in the house somewhere, we're not sure where they're at. Once we open the door, like when we're spying through, say, the bedroom, we can scan that room. And if the person is there, if there's either bit of body in that person at all, that camera will pick it up. Just example, so you was coming in through that door there, after the dance or something here, and everybody got cleared out and said, well, gee whiz, Beth Ann never came out, where's she to? She's in there somewhere. We can come in through the door with that camera and scan the floor, example, or, well, we'll figure she will be on the floor. If there's either bit of body left into her, that camera will pick it up. The same that we do, say, same thing, let's say, for chimney fires, stuff that you scan the chimney. And, she'll pick it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is all right in there.
Got temperature sensor in the middle. Very good too for car accidents and that kind of stuff. If after getting a call for 2 people in a car and there's only one person, well, where's the second person? There was no second person, but before we left, we scanned the area with the camera and everything essentially glowed. And it was in the nighttime, so everything essentially glowed. We can see all the rocks and everything, ponds and everything with that camera. Apparently it's supposed to be really good for moose hunting. We haven't tried it, but apparently it's supposed to be really good for moose hunting.
That's
It's
great.
a good eye protector.
What's that?
I think it's a good eye protector.
Yes. Any other questions?
Sure is golden.
That's a real good tool.
Yeah, we do a lot of fundraising and a lot of people, different organizations support us really well. There was a lot of donations, but that's where our money goes to, right? Like that little piece of equipment sitting on that table was $1,400. So that was a lot of plates of fish and chips and a lot of donations to buy that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Any other questions? Anybody wants to go downstairs after and look at any other equipment we got? Any more than welcome to. Tom, Bruce, and himself is around there if you want to go down and look at anything. There's more 10 bits there. And we did promise door prices, but we didn't get a big crowd, so I think we got a smoke detector for everybody, right? Yeah.
And like for on behalf of the fire department, Renee, and to you people from 50 Plus Club, this, like I said, this is what was planned to do spring when we had, say, in the parsonage is representative down there, since he, but as you know, the business that me and Laura's in, we had ended up going whatever time of that day. But, later on in the fall, or over the winter, like say somebody, you've gotta, if you give us a little bit of notice, say for your own membership, you got more members than those people that's here tonight. If you want to do this at your own building, say something like for a meeting, like just a refresher for your crowd, or you let us know and fire the options at hand, or make the be able to come down and do a presentation, pretty much same one, say to your full group. I know there was more people that was to say that session that you had that day. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, people got commitments, people got things to do and stuff. And I said, well, rather than the roster for you, people that work out Tuesday. So, like I said before, you go this time, we want to try to get this done. And, you know, like I say, later on in the winter, if you want to do this sometime, do it.
And then they can take it